Hello, welcome back to the podcast. Whoop. Need my glasses because I'm blind. This is going to be a different kind of podcast. It's something that I've been doing like in my midlife because I feel like you get to a certain age and you stop growing, stop learning, stop doing, stop challenging yourself. A lot of people I know my age just want to go to their job and go home and watch reality TV. So I'm like continually trying to do little mini challenges and continuing to try to learn to grow and learn things. And so I wanted to talk about doing challenges and mini challenges, creating like a self-curriculum for yourself and continued learning using all the resources we have these days. Like we have so many resources to be able to learn so much. And most people just scroll mindlessly or get into rage stuff over the internet. I heard something recently about how TikTok in America is just dances and people doing whatever, and TikTok in, I don't know, like China or something is like educational stuff. So when they're scrolling through, it's like educational. It's not just like mindless rage bait or whatever. And so I thought that was interesting. So that's where this idea for this podcast came from. I also wanted to break this up into like introverts and extroverts, because a lot of time introverts just want to do things on their own. I'm included in that. Extroverts may want to go out into the world and do things. I wanted to lay out like challenges, mini challenges, self-curriculum, continued learning. That would be an introvert's way of doing things. And extroverts would be like, also introverts could do like free classes online. Extroverts would be more of free college classes, in person, online. The library has a lot of different learning things that you can look up. There's book clubs, there's workout classes, there's cooking classes, art and pottery classes, gardening classes. There's trivia nights and game nights, role-playing games and chess games and trivia and things like that. I just wanted to talk about just like continuing to challenge yourself in midlife and on to, one, help your brain, because your brain kind of gets lazy, and so helping your brain continue to function so you're not just like spacing out and getting, or dementia or whatever. So like challenges and mini challenges could be something that you do like for a week, for a month, for 90 days, for 6 months, for a year, something like that. It would want to be something that you're passionate about or that you're interested in learning about that you don't know anything about, or interested in learning more about that maybe you know a little bit about. So I've made some examples of what I'm talking about. So say that one of the things that you're just really interested in is learning to cook. So there's so many resources if you're wanting to learn to cook. So for an extrovert, I would say check with your local library, look up like local cooking classes. I know here where I live, there's a little shop that has, I don't know, it's got weird stuff. It's got like decor stuff, but it's also got like soups and pastas, and it's an odd little store. And in the back of that store, they have cooking classes. So I would just look up like cooking classes. If you're an introvert, maybe give yourself like a 30-day or 90-day challenge to cook like 1 or 2 new recipes a week, something like that. Watch cooking shows. I love to watch the old Julia Childs cooking shows. She is just fascinating to me. She's just so herself. She's always herself. But there's all kinds of cooking shows. There's YouTube cooking stuff too. So there's like all kinds of the cooking channels and all that, and just watching like old series of it and then that kind of thing. As far as getting recipes for an introvert, of course you can buy a cookbook if there's a certain every time I've got interested in something, I'm always like buying a cookbook for it. So I love to collect cookbooks. So I have an Italian cookbook, I have a Korean cookbook, I have a Israeli cookbook, I have, what else? I have a vegan cookbook. I have a cookbook for everything. And then also any celebrity that I really like, I will always buy their cookbook. So it's just, I love cookbooks. Anytime that anybody's ever went anywhere, they were always like, hey, I found this cookbook. So I'm like, take it. So AI is a great resource for recipes. I don't know if you've seen that commercial, that old commercial. It's been out for a while where that guy wants to have the girl he likes over for a date, and he asks for a recipe for if you're into her but you don't want to be like too into her or whatever. Anyway, I thought that commercial was always cute. So AI is a great resource. There's recipes on Pinterest. It's like abundant. Anything you would ever want you can find on Pinterest. There's YouTube videos. And then you could even watch YouTube videos on chopping things, cutting things. Like I've looked up like how to cut, I've looked up how to do like a pomegranate, because I didn't know how to cut open a pomegranate and dig out all the stuff. I've looked up the best way to like chop onion. So you can look up anything on YouTube for like how to cut or chop or dice or any kind of skills that you want to learn as far as cooking. And then also making new recipes. At the end of the challenge, give yourself a reward for the challenge. So if you did, let's say you did 2 months and you wanted to cook 2 new recipes a week, and then at the end of those 2 months you have a dinner party, and whatever was your favorite recipe that you cooked during that time, or your favorite couple recipes, make those for your dinner party, or have a friend over or something and cook dinner for them as like kind of a reward for your little mini challenge. I just think that's cool, like a cool idea too for like cooking and stuff. Another example is working out. So if you wanted to start working out, you could give yourself like if you're pretty new to it and you're just wanting to like starting to get some movement, maybe give yourself like a 30-day walking challenge. So challenge yourself to go for a walk every day for 20 minutes for 30 days, or 15 minutes, or whatever your ability is. There's all kinds all over the internet. There's 30-day challenge, 60-day challenge, 90-day challenge. There's all kinds of like workout challenges. If you follow any workout people on YouTube, a lot of times they'll do like a series. So like maybe they'll do like a 60 or like a 30-day arm series or a 60-day leg series, and like you could use those as a challenge to yourself of, I'm going to do this leg challenge for 60 days, or I'm going to do this ab challenge for 30 days. So I think that's really great. You could go to classes, YouTube. You could even ask AI to give you a challenge. Like you could put in as much detail as you wanted. I want to do a new 90-day challenge of whatever. Can you give me a workout challenge or whatever? And the more detail that you put into AI, the more specific of what you're going to get back. And if you get back something that's not exactly giving you enough information, just keep feeding it more. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you add? And that's one great thing about AI is you can always just keep adding more detail to what you're wanting so you can get back the right information that you're looking for. There's also a 75 hard challenge, which I'm going to do a podcast on that at the end of this month, the 3rd week of this month, because I'm going to start 75 hard March 1st. So There's also 75 soft. I don't really know what the difference is. I don't really know what 75 soft is, what people do. I think it's just whatever they want. It's just different people. If you look up on YouTube 75 soft, they do different things. But 75 hard is like hard for one, and it's like you do this plan. So it gives you a plan. And then a lot of people just didn't want to do 75 hard because it's not easy, and so they came up with 75 soft. And I would definitely again plan a reward around this challenge. If you're doing 75 hard, you have to eat a certain way, and you have to work out, and you do all that. You don't drink alcohol and all this stuff. Once you're done with that, have yourself a nice, humongous meal of all your favorite stuff, like pizza and pasta and ice cream. Like, just go bonkers, or just take a couple days off. That's my plan. I'm planning to do it because if you fall off of 75 hard, you have to restart. So restart from day 1. So no matter if you're on day 5 or day 50, if you miss one of the things that you're supposed to do, you have to start back from the beginning, day 1 again. So that's one of the things that makes it really hard. It's not just a workout. It's like he calls it a mental, Andy Frisella, he calls it a mental challenge. So you are working out your body, but you're also like, you need to do these things every day. So my plan is to, once I'm done with 75 hard and hopefully don't have to restart, and then I'm taking a 4-day weekend after I get done with 75 hard. That's the plan. That's my reward. To keep yourself accountable, like for your little challenges and your little mini challenges, share it on social media. Share what you're doing. Like, I'm starting this 30-day challenge of cooking 2 new recipes a week, and then share the recipe and a picture of it, or a video of you cooking it, or a video of you showing the final product, and to keep yourself accountable, or have an accountability friend. I think that really helps. So whether it's working out or cooking a recipe or whatever you're trying to challenge yourself doing, just to have some way of trying to keep yourself accountable. The third example that I gave is like education or learning. I've watched a lot of videos on people who have been out of school, but they always loved learning, and they do like a self-curriculum, and so they'll study stuff that they hadn't studied that maybe they were interested in. So that's something you could do for 90 days or 6 months or a year. Like, you could do a semester of it or a quarter of it or something like that. I would pick subjects that you're interested in, that you're wanting to learn more of, or like a new language would be a great, especially if you're ever planning to go somewhere, like even if it's in the future. Even if it's just like a dream thing, like before I die, I really want to go to Spain. So learn Spanish. Like, why not? Pick a subject or subjects of what you want to do. There's all kinds of used books on eBay. I have bought so many used books on eBay. You can get used books for $3, free shipping. YouTube is there's an online, I can't remember what it's called. If you look up free class, like there's all kinds of classes that will do. There's like Harvard and Berkeley, and they have like free classes of like political science or Egyptian history, or whatever. But if you look up like free online classes, and it'll give you like all kinds of classes that if you just look and see if there's anything that it offers that you're interested in. So free online courses. The library, of course, is a great resource for free books to check out. They have the Libby app for the library, where you can, instead of actually going to the library and getting physical books, you can do the Libby app, where you can read books, magazines on your phone or your tablet or whatever you have, or you can do audio books on the Libby app also, so it's a great resource. Anytime I have to drive anywhere, I'm always listening to an audio book. So I think those are great. There's always local classes. There's online essays and short stories. Substack is a huge now. It's been becoming huge over the past few years. Of a lot of people who are writers and stuff are jumping over to Substack and really putting out so much stuff, and you can find anything that you're interested in on Substack. There's somebody writing about it, or anything that you want to learn about. Set yourself up with some study days. So if you're wanting to dedicate, say, 3 hours a week to learning something new, or 5 out if you wanted to do it like Monday through Friday at, I don't know, 5:30 to 6:30 or something like that. Or just set yourself up in your planner or whatever you use, like I talked about before, like your planner, or use an alarm that says curriculum and when the alarm goes off, do your studying. AI, there's so many classes now on AI also, to learn how to, instead of just using it as like what we always used Google for, there's so many ways in which they're saying that you should learn these skills with AI for the future to not lose your job, or just to have those skills. So there's a whole bunch of free AI classes online too. If that's something you're interested in learning more about, you can dive deeper into AI and just become like a AI connoisseur. Or you can use AI to help create a curriculum for you, or help create study plan for the week, or that kind of thing. You could also use it for a study guide. So say you're reading a short story by Gertrude Stein, and you could put into AI, please give me a study guide for this short story, and then also please give me a test for this short story, like an English test or whatever, just to dive deeper. And I think that's cool to have. I've had it help me do with the book club, help me do book club discussion ideas and stuff like that. So you can put it for a specific shorts for this specific book. So if you're reading, I can't think of any Gertrude Stein short stories right at the moment, but you could be like, give me a test for Gertrude Stein's this short story for deeper learning. So anyway, I was going to talk next week about what I'm doing as some mini challenges and curriculum over the next, I have a plan for the next 16 weeks. I'm going to talk more about the things that I'm personally doing with this, but I wanted to just throw out challenging yourself, continuing to learn and grow. I think we just get a little bit lazy, and not on purpose. We just get into the rhythm of our life, and if we've gotten to where our kids are older now and don't need us as much, instead of replacing that care for them with something that's beneficial and growing for our life, we sit and scroll on our phones or sit in front of the TV. And so I really think that continuing to learn and grow, and I just think it's really beneficial for your health and for hopefully your brain working and knowing what's going on, and then your body also of knowing what's going on. Your body also being strong as you get older. So I think it's great to just continue to challenge yourself as you go into midlife, and not just fall into what we saw our parents do. My parents went to work, came home from work, made dinner, and then they pretty much sat in front of the TV, or my dad would sit in front of the TV and my mom sat like back on a couch reading a book. So my mom did end up going back to school later on in life, so she was studying and stuff. But I just feel like our parents, just once they got to a certain stage in their life, they just went to work and came home and watched TV, and then as soon as the news was over, they went to bed. And I think the world is just different now. We just have a bigger opportunity to be able to continue to grow and not just to fade away in our old age. People look younger. If you look at photos of our parents when they were 50, they looked old. And now you see like a 50-year-old person and they look so much younger. And I know a lot of that is vanity. Everybody wants to stay young. But my main thing for this is just to make sure that my brain continues to function at a high capacity, and for as far as workout stuff, that my body stays strong for as long as I can stay independent for. And I want to lug around my grandkids, and if my boys ever give me grandkids, maybe great grandkids, but I'm thinking I'm not going to be getting grandkids until I'm quite a bit older, so we'll see. But I want to be strong enough to lug them around and run around with them and do fun things. And then I also want my brain to just not be like spaced out. I want to know what's going on in the world and carry on conversations and have intellectual conversations. So that's my reasoning for doing these. Next week I'll talk about what I'm exactly doing, and then what I'm planning on doing later this year and stuff. That's it. I think this was a pretty much shorter one, which the last one I did was like an hour, so I don't want them to be that long. I want them to be like 20 or 30 minutes, so that's the goal. So happy beginning of February. I hope your January was wonderful and you're staying warm.